In a society where laws and restrictions are continually growing in number, and figures of authority can be found in mostly all parts of one's life, it can be hard for an individual to find an aspect of their life they have complete control over. Neo-Shamanism can act as a remedy to this, as it is an anarchistic form of spirituality that does not adhere to any set of rules or follow any authority figure. You are your own priest in Neo-Shamanism, shaping an understanding of reality based off of deeply personal, spiritual experiences. One of the first steps towards understanding Neo-Shamanism is looking at the origin of its name. Neo means new, revived, or modified, and shamanism refers very generally to indigenous spiritual practices and beliefs. To Americans, the word shamanism most likely invokes an image of an indigenous North American healing people through some spiritual practice. Neo-Shamanism arose in popularity during the 1960s and 1970s, a time the Encyclopedia of Religion states was a period marked by heightened environmental awareness, interest in non-Western religions, and attempts to find alternative ways to organize spirituality and community that were modeled on an idealized image of traditional peoples. The rise in popularity of the works by anthropologist Carlos Castañeda on a Yaqui shaman he researched and apprenticed under, Don Juan, as well as the work of anthropologist Michael Harner, who researched and apprenticed under the Jivaro people of Ecuador, are both credited as major influences for the founding of Neo-Shamanism. Both of these works focused on what can be viewed as the main goal of participating in neo-shamanic practices: entering an altered state of reality. Altered states of consciousness can be achieved through use of mind-altering drugs, most commonly psychedelics, engaging in monotonous beating, like that of a drum or rattle, dancing and chanting, fasting in nature, or exposure to intense heat like that in a sweat lodge. Neo-shamans generally have a very strong care and regard for Mother Earth, so beliefs and practices are very nature-oriented. Neo-shamans believe there are 3 different worlds, and the purpose of entering an altered state of consciousness is to access one of these 3 different worlds. The upper world is where one would meet a spiritual teacher or being. The middle world refers to the altered aspect of the world we inhabit, and the lower world is where one would meet power animals. The purpose of visiting one of these worlds would be to ask a question, seek guidance, ask for help in achieving a task, or help dealing with psychological trauma or illnesses. Healing through neo-shamanic practices is actually fairly common in our society, and it is largely used for therapy or self-enhancement. There are numerous centers across the country dedicated to healing using shamanic practices, such as the Shamanic Healing Center in Berkeley, California. While most of these practitioners are actually practicing neo-shamanic healing, it is very rare to find a self-proclaimed neo-shaman, as shaman is the term most largely used by practitioners. Shamanic healing has been practiced for thousands of years and has rich historical and cultural ties to many indigenous groups around the world. Traditionally, a shaman is not born of an individual's decision to become a shaman, but rather they are chosen and must undergo strenuous spiritual training. Neo-shamanism is unique in that practitioners of it believe that every person has shamanic abilities and anyone can access the non-ordinary reality from entering an altered state of consciousness. There's also a fundamental belief that no one's experience is greater or less than another's in neo-shamanism, making it very inclusive and accessible to all. There is no dogma or authoritative spiritual leader, and one's understanding of reality is shaped by the spiritual experiences they undergo when visiting the 3 different worlds. Overall, it is a very personal and spiritual practice that allows one to exercise complete control over an aspect of their identity, their spirituality. Thank you for your time and energy throughout the course of this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about neo-shamanism as much as I enjoyed sharing information about it.